Hey there folks, my name is Janaki, and this is Madame Bathsheba, and together we are Catomancy Tarot. So welcome to a very snowy winter January, and I thought this week we would cozy up and I would do a little mod with me. So this will be taking you through a little mod, a little tutorial slash just see what I'm up to. So today we're going to be modifying one of my new favorite oracle decks that I picked up last year, and that's the Abaton Keys, which is a dream healing oracle deck by Patty Allen, and it's a really fun one. However, the backs don't match the fronts. And so I'll take you through and I'll show you the deck. And today I'm thinking of rebacking it, edging it, and then also making a new little bag. So with that said, I think modding a deck can be a great way to bond with it. And I'm spoiler alert, I finished it already and I'm filming this intro later, and I'm really super pleased with how it all turned out. So without further ado, let's take a look and I'll take you through my process. Alrighty, so today we're going to do a quick little mod with me. So last year was the first year I tried my hand at rebacking a deck. And this is the deck that I rebacked. This is the Dragon Tarot by Nigel Suckling. And I didn't like the backs, and the cardstock was super thin, so I decided to reinforce it with some new contact paper backs, and I actually super duper love the way this deck came out. I've heard some kind of like mixed results when it comes to rebacking decks, but since this one went so well, oh look, we have a guest. The Madame is visiting us today. Well, since this one turned out really well, I wanted to do it again, and I think the perfect candidate just came along. So one of my newest oracle decks is this one. It's called the Abaton Keys, a dream healing oracle deck by Patty Allen. I have been loving this deck. It was one of my favorite oracle acquisitions of last year. It's a deck that's it's a little collage number, and it's got these 4 different suits with these different kind of pastel colored borders. But then I like the vibes on this side of the deck feel like very soft, very pastel-y, but then the backs are this, and I really don't like the backs, you guys. I feel like the dark colors don't really match, and I'm really not a fan of like the super high gloss, and also whenever the title is on the back, I just don't love it. And then the other thing is I've had this deck for less than 2 months, and look how badly it's already chipping. So because the backs are so dark, it's just, yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna wear in super nice. And so I decided to reback this one, and it's only 44 cards, so rebacking a deck will substantially bulk it up, but since there's not that many cards anyways, I think it'll still be like totally manageable. And the idea of this oracle deck is it's inspired by like ancient Greek sleep temples, which I've talked about this deck before. I super duper love it. It's like I think it's one of the better, I love it so much. I've only had it for a couple months, but I think it's one of my favorite, new favorites. So I decided to have a poke around and try and find a good match for the backs. And I was thinking, since we're doing ancient Greece, we're doing sleep temples, and we're doing pastels, I went ahead and I found this. You can see it's kind of this pinkish pinkish marble contact paper that was very affordable, and I think it'll go really well. So here we can see. I think that'll just like it'll make it a little bit more pastel-y. It'll keep the kind of like the theme of the sort of ancient Greek temples alive, and I get to cover these backs. Now I did a little bit of pre-cutting, so I went ahead and, you know, I think I cut along these strips. So I cut out 44 of these little rectangles. So I cut out a strip, and then I could get like 3 cards per strip, all lined up like that. And then I went and cut out my little rectangles. And the only thing I'm currently concerned about with this project is you can see that this contact paper is quite thin, and I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but you can kind of see through it to the backs a little bit. So I'm my chief concern right now is that it won't end up being full coverage, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to do it. And and I even if it's a little bit, you know, even if some of the back design shows through, I think it'll still be an improvement. And you can see it's already like it's so high gloss, you can already see it's wearing super weird. So yeah, I think that it'll be an improvement. Now, little nervous about it, but with these things you kind of have to just jump in there and do it. So I've cut these out, and I think we'll go ahead and do a few of these on camera, so you can see what's going on. So here we've got our contact paper, and then ooh, I've stuck myself to it, which I think is par for the course here. Then we'll go ahead and lay this down. And voila. One moment. So I've gone ahead and laid it down on I got out my little sticky mat, and then I have one of these things which came in, you know, when you get a new like screen protector, you get one of these things to kind of smooth it down. So I think it's actually the perfect like smoothing back tool. And now we can take a look. Oh, I do have a bubble in there still. Yeah, I got a bubble. What do I do about the bubble? I think we have to... I didn't get bubbles on the last one I did. Okay. So this might be a kind that I have to go a little slower on, which is okay. We can do that. Let's see. Yeah, that worked out much better. So I'll have to work on my technique with this one so I don't get bubbles. That's all right. And then let's see here. That's not a bubble, that's just the back seeing through a little bit. So yeah, that's, I'm pretty pleased with the opacity at least. Like you can tell it's a little bit darker, but it's, yeah, it's covered up most of what I wanted it to cover up. And now we're gonna do the thing where, and I did this once before, and you have to use your least favorite pair of scissors for this, because it is sticky. And you can kind of glide it right across the edge here. which is nice. So once you get it started, you can just kind of use the card as a guide and slide along. So there's that, and then we'll go ahead, and I've got my handy dandy corner rounder, and we'll see how this works. I'm gonna put it in so the sticky side is facing down, and I think with this cards, it's the largest corner rounder that I'll be using. Give that one another go. All right, so I think this contact paper is a little thinner than the last one I used, so it's a little bit more flimsy, which is okay. I do like the way it looks. I am quite pleased with it, but I think with this one I'm gonna have to go in with some smaller scissors and just do a little bit of a, you know, clean up the edges just a little bit. You can see that I've got a little bit extra on the back here. So that's one finished card. So I'm gonna do a few of these, and I'll get back to you in just a moment, I think. All right, so found my rhythm, found my technique. So you gotta smooth it out as you lay it down, and then I gave up on scissors. Scissors weren't working, so I got out my X-Acto knife, and that's what I used for the rest of them, and it worked much better, and it turned out well. All right, it's been 1 day later, and I've finished it up. So I went ahead and rebacked the whole guy, and this is what it looks like. I think I'm pretty happy with it. It actually, the finish on this contact paper is a little bit less glossy than the fronts, and I had a good time. I think I had a good process. I think now that I've done it, I think that the backs match like the pastel of the fronts a lot more. And I think the pink marble is like nice for the kind of sleep temple vibes we've got going on here. So that's what it looks like. And then I also went ahead and sometimes anytime I've ever rebacked a deck, which is only twice, at first the edges are like a little bit sticky. And so I went ahead and I edged it in this like very subtle kind of pinkish color, and that helped the edges feel a little bit less tacky. And I think it looks really good. So because I rebacked it, it's added a little bit of thickness to the deck. It was only a 44 card deck to begin with. And it still shuffles very nicely, except let's do a take two on that because I messed that up. It still shuffles very nicely, but it has meant that this is the original tuck box. The deck still fits like perfectly in the box, but it has this really excellent guidebook. I love this guidebook. The guidebook is one of the reasons I like the deck so much. And it's, you know, it's a little thicker than just a little white booklet. And it now doesn't, you can't fit both in the box. like they're not all gonna, they all don't fit anymore, which means I now will probably make a bag. Well, I'm going to make a bag for this and then kind of toss this box because I feel like it no longer matches, right? So I like to make my own pouches. This is the pouch I made for When Olga Speaks, another oracle deck of mine, and I think you know, if I ever find another home for this deck, then I might, this fabric would actually go really well, but this has already claimed this spot. So I have to go into my fabric stash and pick out a new fabric. And so I picked out 4 candidates and I can't make up my mind. So the one I'm currently thinking about the most is this one. I think it gives it's giving Sleep Temple, and I think the colors on the backs would match it really well. So I'm thinking about doing this one. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? So there's that's a candidate, and then our next candidate is a turquoise. I like this fabric, and it would be more of a contrast. So I'm thinking about this one. I'm thinking about this one. And the next up is this one. And this one also also is giving I think this one would go well with the marble, with this kind of batiqued look a little bit. I think it's also this one and this other pink one, I think, are the ones that go best with the kind of like ancient Greek vibes of this deck, and I think it would also go well with the pastels, maybe. And then the last one I'm thinking about is this sort of blue ombre, which I think would actually go better with like the original backs. So if I didn't reback it, I think this is the one I would use. But as I have backed it, I think I might knock that one out. So I can't decide. I'm gonna go like text some people. Maybe I'll do an Instagram poll, and then I'll be back once I've decided which fabric to use for this pouch. All right, the results are mostly in here, and it was, these two were clear front runners. I did a little poll, and it seems like these were the most popular, and I think you guys are right. These are definitely giving more. My cat says she agrees as well. These are definitely, I think they match with the pink marble a little bit more. But the one that just edged folks out was this one, which I think that'll be good. I think this is perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead with this one. So I have a tutorial on how I make pouches. So I probably won't film myself making this one because it's a lot to set up on my sort of craft sewing station. But I'm going to cut out my fabric, and then sometimes when you have a pattern like this, it's nice to think about where the pattern's going to sit on the bag. And so I think I'm going to cut out this fabric so that this bottom border sits right here on the bag, because I think that'll be cute, even if it means I'll have some awkward scraps. But I think with the scraps I might be able to still make a little guy, you know. So scraps are for the little guys, but I think it would be worth cutting out along here so I can have a nice pattern. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll meet you back here to see the finished result. Alrighty, so here is the finished pouch. I think it came out nice. I think I would have wanted it to be a little bit more of this ratio to this ratio. Inside it's all the long ways, but that's just how the fabric worked out this time. I didn't have enough of this top fabric to do it all this way, which is okay. I think it still came out cute, and here it is with the backs of the deck. I think it looks so pretty. I think it's definitely giving ancient Greek temple vibes. And so here we go. We pop it in, and then it also has plenty of room now for that guidebook, which is what I was worried about before. And we're all cinched up. And thanks for joining me in this quick little mod with me today. I hope you guys have a good one out there. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.